I don't know who needs this reminder, but God doesn't throw in the towel. He doesn't. He's not like man that will give you a certain amount of times to get it right, and then they just, are fed up and they're done with you. God never throws in the towel. That means he is always willing to be there when you are ready for him. And I remember this time in my life to where I was going through a season of disobedience, and I would run to God, and then when it got too scary, when it got too, um, too much to where I had to let go of things that were in my life, I would run back to my old ways. And every time that I would run back to my old ways, I would start to get breathing problems and I would start to become sick. And during this time, God kept repeating to me, your disobedience is keeping you sick. And he will always tell me, if you continue to live this life, he always told me this, not to install fear in me, but to actually tell me that, the truth of the matter. He always told me, this particular position that you're in will end up in death. He always told me that. He told me, if you continue to walk down this road, you will end up dead. He told me, your disobedience is keeping you sick. So every time that I was in this position of my old ways, I would literally get sick. I would have breathing problems every night. Every night that I would try to sleep, I would wake up at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I would hyperventilate. I couldn't breathe every night because I was resisting, right? And when you resist God, especially if you know deep down you want to follow him, you're just having a hard time. When you try to resist him, it's like pulling on a rubber band to where you're tugging. There's this tugging that's happening, right? It's like a tug of war with God. And the thing with God is he's not pulling, right? He's standing there. So you're hurting yourself. It's not like he's pulling you and hurting you. He's standing there, right? He's strong enough to just stand there and not have to tug. He doesn't have to tug. You're the one running. So when you run, there's this tugging that's happening to where you're hurting yourself. You ever play tug of war and you're tugging so hard, your hands start to hurt. You start to get blisters. Like, you're hurting yourself. And there was this resistance and it was hurting so bad. Like, I couldn't breathe. Every time I was in this old season to where I would try to do these fleshly things, I would try to live this life, I would always feel sick to my stomach. I would feel nauseous. I would wake up feeling like I'm going to throw up every single day. I would try to, work a 9-to-5 job. God told me not to work a 9-to-5 job. Every time I went to work DoorDash, I would feel sick to my stomach. Every time that I would try to be with people that I wasn't meant to be with, I would feel sick to my stomach. I would have breathing problems. I literally had to get a dehumidifier because I literally thought there was something wrong with my lungs. Like there was some type of fluid in my lungs that was causing me not to breathe. But every time that I left those situations and went back home and went back to where God wanted me to go, instantly I could breathe again. Instantly, no sleeping problems. Instantly, just okay. I'm okay physically. And God kept reminding your disobedience is what's keeping you sick. All you have to do is just follow me. I'm telling you this not to harm you, not to be this cocky God that, oh, follow me because I'm the best. No, but I'm actually telling you, fact of the matter is this is the best way. My way is the best way. My will is the only way that is sufficient. And it took letting go of everything from my past because I literally couldn't hold on anymore, right? When you're in the middle, like when you don't pick a side, this is the most difficult to be because there's this resistance happening. When you pick the devil and you pick your fleshly desires, there's not this resistance happening, right? There's not this conviction, this strong conviction or this strong pulling of, being pulled towards God. But when you're in the middle of where like, God, I don't know, I'm scared, there's always going to be this tugging. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's time to stop running, okay? Your disobedience is what's keeping you sick, whether that means physically or mentally or spiritually, whatever the case may be. It's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you sick. And if you continue to walk down that road, it's going to lead to death, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually, right? As long as you are outside of God's will, you're leading yourself to death. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but stop running from God. Just let go. I know it's hard to walk into things that he wants for you. I know it's hard to let go of, this comfortability that you've been in for so long. But when you let go and you learn to just trust God, you learn that he's actually doing what's best for you. And your old ways of doing things were literally leading you to hell.